That's a good question. That's a good question. So, if you get away from this idea that God is good, God is the greatest good, and you set aside for the moment the whole idea of bad and good, and you just look at this as a story like we're doing now to teach us, gain some understanding, we can look at it further and say, well, God, eat this fruit. And Adam said to Eve, no, God said, don't eat this fruit. But the serpent said, if you eat that fruit, you will become like gods. That's why, I don't know the exact phrasing, something like this, you can read it. That's why God doesn't want you to eat it, the serpent said, because you will become like gods yourself. And if you look at consciousness as a sense of I amness, of knowing, then, like Rupert said, if you look at that place of consciousness, that's God's presence in you. So, uh, so then God would not want other creatures, his creation, to have his power, right? So it makes perfect sense in that way. So the question of good or bad, like we said, is duality, and we want to unify the opposites. And there's no necessity then to look at things as either good or bad. We can look at them, just know them as they are. And this goes back to the Buddhism and the Taoism. Buddhism and Taoism, non-duality means accepting things and knowing things as they are without adding or removing anything to them. This is true knowledge. This is pure knowledge. This is clear mind. We purify our prejudices and our judgments about good and bad, and we stop dividing things into good and bad dependent upon how they affect me, my thoughts, sensations, perceptions, and mental formations. And we stop limiting our experiences to what's special and not special. So that's an important point you brought up. Why is something good? Why is something bad? It's unnecessary from this perspective, from the Taoist perspective or the Buddhist perspective. Always return to just the knower, the knower of experience. Good and bad are very simple. Good is what's pleasurable. Bad is what's unpleasant. Very, very simple idea. So the power is in, right, non-duality, unification of the opposites. And then there's the clarity, pure mind, and the ability to transcend all experience.